Hey, what's up? This is Ray with Get Real Ray, a place and space for life and business tips from this creative soul to hopefully inspire you on your journey, or at the very least provide you with some laughs. Haha! And now let's get real. Let's get real about the fact that I am sitting on the floor with my phone balanced on a yoga block right now because I don't want to unpack the tripod. Yeah, let's get real. Let's get real about the fact that I am moving again. Now, the thing that gets me about this move is I can hear certain voices in my head. One of those voices being my ex-husband. And this kind of idea of, oh, you're moving again? Like, I can just hear that. And just even like saying that right now grosses me out and makes me very upset. I have moved a lot in my life. And people who move because they want to tend to, I feel like it is very easy for them to take for granted the fact that not all moves are really by choice. And so it's not like I've chosen, oh my gosh, I just love moving around. I love paying for, moving trucks and boxes, and I just love moving. Yeah. There are certain people in my life who have implied that normal people don't move a lot, kind of thing. And I'm not even gonna go into that right now because it's gonna make me really upset. And that's not what this video is about. This video is not about them. It's about me. Maybe it's about you too. I don't know. Okay, so here's what's happening. Okay, I moved to the state with the intention of, hey, I want to just not be near my ex and pay less rent and figure out what's next for me. I want to kind of get regrounded financially. New York City is a really expensive city when you are an artist. Yeah. If you are someone who's in the arts, you need to be able to do those auditions, but you also have to pay your bills. And if you don't want to live with 5 roommates, then you're probably going to have multiple jobs. And, it's not exclusively for actors or dancers either. Painters, sculptors, anybody who's in the arts has this struggle. Musicians have a little bit of an advantage where they can go to the clubs at night. But if you're thinking about it, if you are the last on the list or you manage to have a gig where it's going to be a late night, it's hard to get up the next morning and give it your all at that day job. So anyway, I did the whole day job thing. I did the multiple job thing, and couldn't do it anymore. And also, I wasn't living with a gazillion roommates. I was by myself, and then I had this partner who I wound up marrying, and our finances were always separate. He had his own financial drama. And so leaving all of that behind was very expensive. It was very expensive because I was going cross country. Yeah, I gave up like 90% of the furniture. I was just like, you keep it. I just can't. I just got to get out of here. And when I think about how much I gave up, it's kind of like, well, what was in that moving truck? If I gave up the bed and TV and couch and, all these other things, what the heck was in that moving truck? I took some dishes, only some, it's books. Yeah. I tried to get everything to fit into one van, but ultimately the place I was supposed to have the van actually didn't have a van. The van has been recalled, sorry. what? So I wound up having to get one of those big trucks, and it's like, I still filled the 10-foot truck anyway. I don't even know how I managed to do that, but I did. And so I moved into a townhouse, and at first I loved it. I was like, oh gosh, this is so cool. I feel settled. And then I think it was like the first night or second night, I heard this little and it was the sound of mice in the ceiling. I was like, oh my God, is this it? Am I hearing things? But yes, there were mice. There was a rat at one point. And so I was in that place for a year, I guess. I thought it was gonna be more than a year, but no, it was a year. I also wound up having a family member stay with me, and there's other videos that mention that, but that also wound up being hugely impactful financially. So I took my savings to get out of this very bad relationship, got myself far away, took on this family member that also created a lot of a very unhealthy environment for me. I tried to create a healthy environment for them. I kind of feel like they'll complain about it no matter what, but I do, in my own defense, I do feel like the doctors recognize that I was really trying to make it a positive experience. I feel like every doctor's appointment we went to, it was kind of like, well, your aunt's being nice. But anyway, so that all ended, and getting out of that townhouse, I was also working back in New York while being in this other state. It was a very long drive. So what I did was, it was a lot of things. I was still trying to maintain 2 businesses, travel for work, help the person that was living with me get on their feet, and get back to the state they want to go live in. And, you know, trying to deal with the dip in sales in my own business and just trying to keep my sanity. So it was a lot. And it was a lot emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, OMG. So I went from one like crazy situation to another crazy situation. And then I moved to the small town that I am now. And today is my last full day in the small town because I moved into this place and I said, okay, I'm gonna hang in there for 2 years. I'm gonna hang in there for 2 years. Why is it always 2 years? I don't know. But it seems like 2 years should be a good enough time to just pay bills. Don't think about moving. Don't think about splurging or spending or investing in any new business adventure. Business venture. Just focus on taking care of all this stuff that is built up, accumulated, and then you'll have this kind of clean slate, and then you can focus on where do I want to be. And like literally, maybe less than 48 hours before I needed to be out of the other place, I still didn't know where I was gonna live. There was a place in Pennsylvania by this guy who just seemed, I did not get good. He just seemed really kind of aggressive, and maybe he just had really bad experiences with people being flaky or whatever. But you know, I was gonna have to drive like 7 hours to get over to see this place, and I didn't really want to do it. And the other place I was waiting on, she had me believing I got this place. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna. 3 hours into the 7-hour drive, I was like, you know what? I think I got this other place. Thanks, but no thanks. And then the lady called me back. The night was like, actually, we gave it to someone else. You know, she's got a kid and you don't. And so I remember you said if there was someone with the kid. So I'm, you know, but we just really liked you. Like, why string me along? Why? Like, what was the point? So anyway, did not get that place. And then I messaged the guy I was like, well, are you okay? And he's just kind of like, nah, lady. So I get it, right? So, and I kind of said to myself, well, I don't think it was going to be a good deal with him anyway. Just something about, I don't remember what he said, but something about it was just like, it was not good. So anyway, and also, to be fair, that was the same state where I had somebody throw their cup of tobacco at my car. So I was like, I don't really want to go to a place where I'm going to just deal with a bunch of racism in a small town. So here I am, the place that I'm in now. Thankfully, because I was ready to sign on a trailer park place where they had just, I guess they evicted this guy from the trailer park. It's a guy who like literally never left his couch and just sat on his couch, and like his footprints were still in the rug from where he sat. It was crazy. But they were working really hard to get the trailer turned around for me. And I was just saying to myself, oh my God, this is my life has come to. Like, I worked so hard. I'm a good person. And I'm going to try to teach and run my businesses from this trailer and try to look like I am living a life that I feel is a quality lifestyle. And there's some people love living in a trailer, okay? Don't get me wrong. But even though it was a 2-room trailer, I knew it was too small. And I knew that I would struggle to be doing jumping jacks. Like, I know that seems stupid, but to literally be doing energetic jumping jacks in this place, it's dimly lit. And my soul was breaking. I was in the middle of nowhere in a trailer park that just screamed sadness. And the guy who ran the trailer park was super nice, so I was grateful for that. But I was just like, oh my gosh, is this really what's gonna happen? And then lo and behold, the guy for the place that I'm currently in reached out. Oh, I sent him a message saying, hey, I'm gonna withdraw my application because, I saw there's a lot of people interested, so thank you, but no thanks. And he got back to me, he's like, are you sure? Because I was actually about to, call your references now. And so I was like, oh my gosh, please do. I just thought, and he's like, no, you don't have any kids, you don't have any pets. That makes you a good tenant. I was like, oh my goodness, this is super exciting. And so, yeah, I got this place. It was like the 11th hour or something. And he was really nice in that the lease was supposed to start March 1st, but he let me move in the evening of the 29th. And I thought that February 29th, so that was cool. And I moved in, and I was happy. I mean, I looked around, and I was like, some of the craftsmanship was a little, the place had been gutted and renovated. So some of the craftsmanship, I was like, oh, that's a little not so smooth there. Why is that wall bumpy? Why does that spot in the ceiling look like somebody ran out of materials and just kind of slapped some putty up there? But overall, I was happy, and I started to heal. I started to let go of the frustration and anger I held with these other relationships. I started to get back to focusing on my business and, bring up my revenue and address all of the issues that were going on with my business in terms of poor performance teachers and low enrollment, and just so many things. And then I was bouncing back financially, and then things went down financially again. When you do run your own business, I don't think people talk about this enough. As freelancers and entrepreneurs, being a freelancer, people think that being a freelancer, it's like, oh, well, you control your own schedule. And being an entrepreneur, you run business and make lots of money. That's not true. Being a freelancer also means you're responsible for your own taxes. It means you're responsible for making sure you have work coming in. Being an entrepreneur means you are responsible for those taxes again, most likely. It means you have a lot of logistics to work out in terms of who's working for you and how are you classifying all of that and how are you responsible for all that. And having, multiple businesses, which people kind of associate that with being an entrepreneur, it's twice, 3 times the headache. When I was looking at making my so I've always, so for a long time, I've had multiple brands, multiple identities, multiple email addresses, business names, business cards, all these things. But I guess in 2022, I decided to take one of those brands and make it its own LLC. And so now we have 2 LLCs. And I remember the tax person I was talking to was saying, yeah, people think S Corp is so easy, but actually you need to be making at least 140K in order to justify all of these other costs. And you have to have a dedicated tax person to blah, 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 blah. I was like, whoa, well, let's put a pause on that. And what all the business YouTubers normally talk about is the fact that you're doing twice the business, twice the work, twice the headache, twice the time. It would seem like it is going to be great because you're going to be bringing in more money, but that's not really the case. Can you split yourself up to make sure that you're putting in an appropriate amount of energy and time into both businesses, make sure both businesses are maximizing revenue? And, you've got those people who say, oh, you got to delegate. Well, it takes time to find somebody who can do the job right. You can break the job down into so many instructions and you can have people willing to do the job, say they will learn the material, but then either they don't learn the material or they cannot execute doing the material, even though it was the most simple thing on earth. I've had teachers actually be good teachers, but they are so worried about doing the class wrong and anxious that anxious feeling, like they work themselves up into a tizzy. And so they don't stick around because they're like, I don't know if I'm doing good. I'm like, what are you anxious about? The kids seem happy. What is going on? So it's not as simple as just delegate, just purchase an LLC for $100 and then go on to teamfromphilippines.com and have a team of people from another country, pay them pennies to do all of your work for you. That's not how things really work. No. So, yeah, I was happy with this place until I noticed slugs in my basement, and the basement that I had washed and swept the floors, suddenly there was dirt in there again, and the floors looked wet, and there was a smell, and I complained, and I thought, and I was told, oh, it's country living. So I'm like, what is going on? Why am I catching slugs in the basement and putting them outside? So this summer I said, okay, this is gonna be definitely my last year. I'm gonna put some salt and some boric acid on the windowsill in the basement just in case a slug tries to come in, because I saw a slug. So I was like, get out of here, I'm gonna seal this up. And I started noticing that the air in my bedroom was getting really funky again. I'm like, oh man, I forgot last summer the air in here was really bad too. Man, this is not good. And then I noticed, what's up with the floor? Is my floor sloped? Is it sinking? I don't know what's going on here. I feel like the floor is a little weird. And I was thinking like, yeah, there's something with the floor. I don't know if it's just my imagination. And then I came home one day after a trip out of town. So that was 2 days away. And when I came home, I noticed I was walking downhill in the place. I was like, okay, the floor is definitely dropped. It is definitely slanted. I am walking downhill. This is not good. And I don't know if this is safe. Reached out to the landlord. He came, looked at it. He's like, don't know what's causing it. We can jack it up. But I'm thinking, you don't know what's causing it? And I started thinking about how there were spots already in the construction of the place where it looked a little, not the best. There was this leak that he had tried to fix on this outside sun porch where every time he went to come fix it, it just never really got fixed. And then the basement, I couldn't really use the basement because it was damp down there. And now I can't breathe in my bedroom. And the floor is so slanted, I can't sleep in my bedroom. And you don't know what's causing the floor to drop. I don't feel safe. I feel like, well, if we don't know what's causing it, then how do I know the floor is going to stay much longer? How much longer will it stay? So that was July 23rd, where I was like, oh my God, how much longer will this floor stay? And I was asked if I was told, well, if you could hang on till mid-September. You can hang on till September. And so my brain, I don't know, my brain was thinking, mid-September? September 15th? That's almost 2 months. And I had to think about it. Then he offered me like a little break on the rent for August. I'm still thinking, I don't know if the floor is going to just kind of be like, whoops, if I'm going to be like sliding downhill instead of walking downhill, like sliding downhill. And and then the breathing was getting worse. So I was like, I can't do this. And so I notified them 10 days later, I'm out. Shortly after I sent that message, the next morning when I was starting to pack, I noticed that all of my moving boxes were smelling of mold and mildew. I noticed that a table I had in the basement had mold on it. I noticed the ceiling of the basement was covered in mold. Found some more slugs. And some of my clothes that were kept in the bedroom had mold on it. Some of the furniture that had been in the bedroom had mold on it. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. There's no way in heck I would have been able to hang in here to September. And so, moving, right? Oh, you're moving again. This is how these people sound in my head. And as someone who has moved many times, I've heard that before. Like, oh, you're moving again, right? I've never had any like trust funds. Oh, we'll pay for your college, we'll pay for your rent, I don't have any of that shit, okay? I have what I have because I worked my ass off. And I respect my mom, and she worked her ass off. But she also taught me, don't expect for everybody to give you stuff. You got to be willing to get out there and make what you want happen. So, since, I guess it's been 9 days now. Well, it was a Saturday to a Saturday. We're on a Wednesday now. I don't know. So, maybe over 10 days. Wait, I announced on the 3rd. Today's the 15th. No, today's the 14th. I can do some math here. 11 days of just being in this highly stressed state. Packing stuff, throwing out stuff, canceling utilities, trying to find another place to live. My credit is completely shot. I had this lovely cough due to cleaning stuff out of that basement. I reached out to the county to see if they could come and inspect, and that's a whole other battle. But I've just been go. And within 7 to 10 days within 7 days of my saying no more, I managed to find a little house sitting gig. It's not paid, but it gives me some place to stay for a little bit. And then that started to let me kind of decompress a little bit. And then the next day I got another offer. And so I found myself going, okay, things are going to be okay. The money that I would have used to pay rent, I had to use to pay for the house sitting place, my credit shot, so I knew getting a decent place, a decent apartment was not going to happen. And I had already used emergency savings for another emergency a few weeks before, so I didn't have emergency savings to be like, yeah, here's a deposit. Kind of like either I'm going to move into a really cheap motel somewhere where it's guaranteed it's going to be noise happening from the person next to me, and it's going to be in a really bad area. I'm going to be really stressed out. Or I can try this house sitting thing. So I went the house sitting thing and had to buy boxes. So yeah, between flight and paying for parking my car, all this stuff, you know, the money that would have went to rent is spent on trying to move, and money that's supposed to pay the credit cards that are due this week spent on trying to move. So now I'm behind on my payments on cards, which is also impacting my credit score. And this is the slowest month of the year for one of my businesses. And because I've been so busy trying to figure out cleaning up one business and preparing for fall, I haven't been able to put as much as I would like to into another business. So I would love to be running ads for business B, but business A had a lot of stuff that just needed to finally be cleaned up and addressed. And I canceled one of my advertising platforms for business B because I felt like you guys keep raising the rates and yet I'm not getting anything more from this. And I don't really seem to, it's not a beneficial relationship anymore. I would do much better if I ran my own ads. But yeah, I know I don't have that money. So good golly, Miss Molly, moving again. Behind on bills now. And at first I was feeling pretty empowered. Like, okay, this is a tough situation, but I did it. I found some place to go stay. My business is still going. None of my clients are going to be like, oh, what's going on with you? And I can move on. Maybe I'll win my court case, maybe not, who knows? I think I have a strong case. But all the same, I still have to make things happen in the meantime. Now, truth be told, I was kind of hoping he'd be like, oh my gosh, you're moving. We're going to come and fix this right away. Or, oh my gosh, you're moving. Okay. Let's give you back your deposit and cover some of those expenses and, you know, have a nice life. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So yeah, that's right. Part of the money that would have gone to rent is going towards this court case because I had to go file the court case. So yeah. I have stuff in a storage unit, and I was looking at it as, yeah, I'm going to do this house sitting thing. And then I'm going to like have my car and just go from house. I'm going to live that house sit life, kind of like the van life or the digital nomad life. Travel around, live place to place and see the world while still running your businesses. And that's how I was feeling. And today, as I looked at the last little pile of stuff that I need to pack, I don't even know why it's so hard for me to pack this stuff. I just keep looking at it going, I don't know. Does that go in the basket or in the suitcase? Well, it'll be easier to decide once I can take my monitor and my laptop and put it in the suitcase. Am I shipping this suitcase or not shipping this suitcase? Maybe I should just stop looking at this stupid little pile until I finish teaching my last class, and then I can put this in the suitcase, and then I can deal with this pile, but I don't want to be dealing with all this tomorrow. But it's kind of hard to pack the suitcase right without having these other gadgets in. So yeah, so I'm just over here like, OMG. Am I living the digital nomad life and traveling the world? Or am I just freaking homeless? Right? And when I think about, I have loved watching all these like travel. Sometimes I like watching those videos where they talk about the different places, perfect places for digital nomads, and like go to Thailand and meet other cool people, and go to Mexico and meet other cool people. And I'm like, yeah. And I always go, I don't really know if I need to meet other cool people, but I like the idea of being somewhere warm and you take your work with you and you're making money and you're enjoying yourself. But if they are from the United States, unless they have denounced their U.S. citizenship, they're paying taxes. So unless you are a digital nomad working for a business that's having the taxes taken out for you, if you are a freelancer or an entrepreneur, any money you make outside of the U.S., you are still taxed on. That is the truth. And people don't talk about it. Now, I don't really have a problem with paying taxes because I do want for schools to be better funded and roads to actually be paved so people can drive on them and working stoplights. Okay, I'm not saying I don't want to pay taxes. I'm saying that one has to factor in the full cost of doing business. It's not just you sold this, you got money for it, boom. There are many costs to doing business. And I feel like the tax cost is one that people don't talk about enough online. So anyway, yeah, I am just trying to figure out, I guess it doesn't really matter so much whether I am a digital nomad or homeless. But being homeless doesn't sound fun. Being a digital nomad sounds fun. Being homeless does not sound fun. And I feel like it's not that I don't have a job. Technically I have more than one job. It's not that I just love moving around. I'm moving because I don't feel safe here. I'm having trouble breathing. I don't know what's going, like when I walk across the yard through the grass, my feet kind of sink into the dirt. And if that's what's holding up this building, next big rainstorm, what else is going to happen with the flooring here? So yeah, it really, really pisses me off when I think of people who I feel don't work hard. Don't work hard. And live the kind of life where I say, that's not how you're supposed to live. You're supposed to give and be willing to help people and not just be like fucking Scrooge McDuck sitting on your pile of coins and be like, whoa, I've got all this money, I'm the best at everything. It's like, have some humility and stop just fucking taking. Okay, I'm thinking of some people that just take. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it that person seems to be doing just fine? They can go out and do all the things that they want to do, and all they do is take. All they do is take. And, I fucking hope you die alone. I do. Probably not the nicest to say, but yeah, I'm okay with dying alone. I'm okay with that. But I know there's certain people who aren't. So yeah, I fucking hope you die alone. So yeah, I also feel slightly paralyzed right now because I have to get these bills paid. And I did the work. I kept doing the listings. I kept reaching out, modified the prices, clean up the programs to make them even more enticing. That the sales aren't there. They're not there. Slowest time of the year. So I know sales won't happen right now. They'll happen soon. But I just kind of feel like I don't know how much time I have left. And, you know, a lot of people would say, well, you just need to get a job. I have a job. In a way, I have a job. This living situation has already taken so much from me. I just feel like it's not fair if I let it force me to no longer be able to operate my businesses. And my former relationship took so much from me that I feel like it's not fair if I let that period of my life ruin the businesses that I worked so hard for and ruin my finances. Right? Because running to one apartment that I thought was going to be okay, but wound up being horribly shitty, and then having to run to another apartment that I thought was going to be okay, or a house that I thought was going to be okay, but wound up being shitty, is a direct result for running from a marriage that was shitty. So, what is the meaning of all this? Well, let's see, what did we learn? Don't over-glorify the digital nomad lifestyle. Don't over-glorify entrepreneurship or being a freelancer. None of this shit is perfect. Whether you're working for someone else or working for yourself, none of it's perfect, right? And since laying down and just dying, just laying down and be like, I choose to no longer breathe. I'm gonna die. I'm dead yet. I'm dead. Why is there still oxygen flowing? I need to die. Since that is not an option, one must carry on. One must keep trying. I worked too hard to not pay these bills and to lose my businesses and to be forced on the street. So I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to go online and I'm going to take some more actions to get some sales. And I'm going to turn this around. Going to turn this around because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if that freaking tunnel is really long and really dark and like really narrow at some points and really rocky, it's like, oh my gosh, spiderwebs. There's always a light. Just like it's a tunnel. So there's an opening, then there's another opening. Otherwise it would just be like a hole or a cave, but it's a tunnel. So there's openings. Okay. This is Ray with Get Real Ray, and this is my last day in this space. Hopefully the next video I'm gonna be like, woo, let me tell you all the amazing things, and maybe I'll take you on that financial journey of paying stuff off. I don't know, we'll see. Until next time,